Hey, welcome to Exclaim News Weekly. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Calum. This week we're talking tragic prices of Tragically Hip tickets, a Toronto music landmark, and pressing vinyl in Canada. All that and more up next. Tickets for the Tragically Hip's upcoming Man Machine Poem Tour went on sale to the general public late last week, and those who were lucky enough to get their hands on some are now reselling them at exorbitant prices. Original ticket prices for the tour ranged anywhere from $56 to $166, which isn't out of the ordinary, but now tickets are being resold online for thousands. So the most egregious example of scalping that I've seen in my search for tickets is someone asking $5,000 for a single seat at the K-Rock Centre in Kingston. And to me, there's a bit of a moral dilemma there with everything that's happened to Gord and people looking to make a quick buck off these tickets.
It's pretty sad that we become so complacent with the system of ticket buying. I mean, there's not really a better option, so we get suckered into doing it. And with this one, it's especially sad, obviously, with everything that's going on with Gord. And the money's not just being taken away from the band and their crew and all of their team, but it's also taking away from charity. As part of the proceeds, we're supposed to be going to the Sunnybrook Foundation.
With all this news about scalping, we'd like to know, what's the most you've ever paid for a concert ticket? Let us know in the comments below. And for more reaction to these egregious ticket prices, head to Exclaim.ca.
Sam the Record Man's flagship store in downtown Toronto served music fans for 46 years before finally closing its doors in 2007. It was instantly recognizable by two giant spinning neon record signs outside the building, but that building was bought by Ryerson University in 2008 on the condition that they preserve the iconic sign. It's been sitting in storage, but we learned this week that the restoration process is finally underway and the sign should be resurrected above Yonge-Dundas Square by the end of the summer. Personally, I remember as a kid, as a suburban teenager coming into the city and finding tons of stuff that I thought was so cool at the time at Sam the Record Man. That was a bit before your Toronto time, right, Calum?
It certainly was. I came down once when I was young, maybe 10 to 12, and I do remember seeing the sign in action, which was pretty cool before they took it down. And I've had family members that tell me that they went to Sam the Record Man as their #1 stop to buy music back in their day as well.
3, 2, 1.
People know that Neil Young spent time in Toronto and Winnipeg before moving to the United States to kickstart his music career, but now his childhood home in rural Ontario has recently gone up for sale. The brick house where Young and his family lived when he was younger is described as a stately home located in the village of Omemee, which is located halfway between Peterborough and Lindsay, Ontario. Right now, its market price is listed at a little under $300,000, a little better than what you would find here in Toronto. So if a property of a music icon that you were into went up for sale, whose would you like to live in?
Well, first of all, I think it's a little weird that people want to live in their musical heroes' homes because it's not like they're going to be there coming by every night to serenade them. That said, I wouldn't mind getting myself a room at Drake's new place that he's about to build in Toronto. It seems like it's gonna be a good time. I feel like we've talked about Drake's house every episode so far.
I would definitely like to live in Kanye West's Hidden Hills mansion right now. The design of the inside, very minimal. I've seen a few pictures. And then the pool, of course, while it may not be bigger than Drake's, the view from it is incredible.
You might have to entertain the Kardashians though.
If you've ever had your sights set on living in a musician's home, let us know who's in the comments below. And for a full tour of Neil Young's property and home, head to Exclaim.ca.
We all know that vinyl has made a huge comeback and that business is booming. But the increased demand has created a huge backlog for manufacturers. Jack White tried his hand at fixing the problem by opening a pressing plant, Third Man Records store, but now a solution is coming to Canada. Toronto startup Viral Productions has made some fancy new presses, and Calgary-based manufacturer Canada Boy Records has bought 3 of them to help keep the vinyl dream alive north of the 49th parallel. So Calum, what's the deal? Why is it taking so long for companies to get their hands on new presses?
Well, when the vinyl boom was officially back, I would say, a lot of the older presses that had been used in the decades before were being brought back into service. And these machines obviously had years of use, and parts on these machines break, they're tough to source, and so getting a new vinyl press, let alone buying up old ones, is kind of a high-risk, high-reward situation where obviously it allows you to increase your production, but you're not really sure how long that's going to last. It's good to see Canada getting back into the area of vinyl pressing. There were a number of plants here back in the 70s and 80s, a lot of them in Ontario, Scarborough, places like that. Fun fact, the first ever Beatles 45s for the entire continent of North America were made in Canada, in the sleepy town of Smiths Falls, Ontario.
It's not a bad claim to fame.
So from a business standpoint, it's a good thing, but also from a buyer's standpoint, Canadians might get to save a little bit as far as shipping goes now. So hopefully Canada Boy can help bring those numbers down a little bit for all the vinyl collectors out there across Canada.
I'm gonna move on to Vietnam, so I need goodbye.
And that's our show for this week. Thanks for watching. For more news, reviews, and interviews with all your favorite artists, head to Exclaim.ca or find our brand new issue at a street box near you.
Join us next week when we'll be back inside.
Because honestly, it's kind of hot out here.
And the wind and the planes and the